أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله النبي الحبيب الكريم اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا نبينا شفينا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا نبينا شفينا محمد وبارك وسلم. Welcome to all of you to the International Sufi Center. We have been carrying on the sessions on the various aspects and topics of Sufism. And in today's session, we will deal initially in the beginning with the meaning of the Kalima La ilaha illallah. Before going into the depths of the second portion of the Kalima Muhammad Rasulullah, there are four aspects in the Kalima. First is La ilaha. La ilaha is La is nothing. It is nothingness. It is a denial. It is a removal from the body and mind and soul, from all that you have learned from ages and centuries about the understanding of Allah the Great, whose understanding had got mingled in the myths, mythologies, in the stories, in the way in which man understood himself as to what God could be, without God himself putting it into the conscience of a Payghambar sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what God is about. There are several ancient civilizations who found the need for certain basic amenities required for life, like agriculture, like tools, like animals to serve them. They were of such great need to man, of such great importance to man, that they thought that it could be, but man cannot live without them, that it could be the source of living. It's a source by which man lives, and like rivers, water, lightning, fire, tools, and the affection of the mother, the bravery of the father, the entire groups in which they live together, their boldness, their chivalry, their courage, their sincerity, all that they thought are qualities which could be attributed to the great soul. All had a wonder as to what and how and where the soul, the spirit will disappear after death. The conclusion was that the spirit itself is God, that the spirit dwells in animals, it dwells in plants, it dwells in trees, and they all should be worshipped and prayed. That the light which comes from the sun, the moon, the stars is God, because they sustain life. That was the meaning of the God, and it converted itself into various stories man could create intrinsically from his mind and heart. Thus every civilization developed its own myth and mythologies, and it went on for ages and centuries, till Abraham the Great, who in Palestine realized that all these are creations of our own mind and heart, and he said, La, nothing, this cannot be the God, this cannot be the sustainer, the giver, the taker, the lover. That is something other than the created things around us, who sustained us, whose power sustains us, who controls us and guides us. So the Abraham's thinking of single unitary being is the basic concept of the religions which drew from his breast, from the children who were born to him. His sons were Isaac and Ismail, and Isaac's son was Yaqub, who was also known as Israel, and how the children of Israel grew into in this thought of oneness, of monotheism, and how the religion developed thereafter, with series of prophets coming from the genealogy, from the children of Abraham. But his second son Ismail, who was the first son first wife was Sarah, who did not begot, and he took into his bed a Abyssinian slave, and him, and from her was born Ismail. But Ismail's descendant did not have a Payghambar. So Abraham was commanded by Lord to sacrifice, to give away what he had in his old age, which he considered as his own love and progeny, would carry on his message of monotheism. And Ismail and Sarah's name, Ismail and his mother were brought to the desert and left there. And Ismail's mother kept on searching for water, and ultimately the sacrifice and the love of Ismail's mother to search for water, to take care of the mother, of the child, and to sacrifice her life in the name of the Lord was so enormous that the God, by nature, in his command, granted the water, the spring, the Zamzam. And ultimately, the love of Abraham was so immense to the Lord that the God did not accept any of his thoughts that would be other than the Lord. So any thought other than the Lord, or anything, any sacrifice other than to the Lord, does not come within the aspect of the nothingness, the la ilaha. You have to negate and remove with your mind and heart all the objects of veneration or of any material source which fulfills our worldly needs, or a power of kings who keeps us under subjugation, or of a system of which a human being becomes subjected to, with the taboos, customs, superstitions, myths, mores, or of human desires, the inner aspects of ego and animal elements in us. It is denial of external negative forces which are all useless and futile. The Kalima is the denial of supremacy of material agencies, heavenly bodies and natural phenomena. The denial is negativism. The illallah is the positivism, is the acceptance of the existence of the creator of the universe, who is inherent, who is within and who is out. Avalu, la-akhiru, batinu, zahiru. He is within us, he is outside. He is nearer than your jugular vein. He is within your mind and heart. When you are praying intensively within your own mind and heart, he hears you. He is a hearer. He is a seer. He speaks, he talks, but in his own way. But his cosmos is working at his own command. The natural laws governing the existence of life should be realized through the Creator's will. You have to live according to the design he has laid down. And we should not jump or cross the line and behave in our own eccentric way, whimsical way, in our own lust, in our own way to create chaos and confusion. But we have to work according to the design of the Lord, the divine knowledge which he has given us through Abraham, which has given birth to Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Islam is a successor to the religions of Abraham, to purify the soul, to purify the mind, to purify the heart. And the commandment which has been given by the Lord and the name which He has revealed Himself, each name representing one great God's attribute. These attributes have to be realized, and we have to purify ourselves and become totally pious, acquire taqwa. It is not just repeating all the laws which God has given us every day and every night to here and there to people around us, but we have to sit in meditation, in prayers, and in these prayers and meditation realize as if we are seeing God. We have to see Him as if we are seeing. If not, we should feel that He is seeing us. His awe and wonder should capture our mind and heart, and this can be done only by surrendering His will. And this is when we give up our desires but go according to the dictates of the innermost conscience, that is the Lord, that is Allah. La ilaha is to deny all that emerges from the human fiction, human fantasy, human mythology, and accept the reality, the truth. The truth is a crystal clear. Truth needs no praise, it does not need a eulogy. Its effulgence and brightness, it showers on loving and compassionate souls. Truth, that is the Lord, that the God, is Haqq. The Haqq has to be pursued with sincerity and humility. And once we are total humble, then all negative forces which we term and give a name of Satan or Jinni or human souls which come and disturb us, who take us away from the path of the Lord, they are all one which are not reality. But the truth is reality. Truth is sincere. Truth is humble. And sincerity and humility captures our mind and heart, then at that point of time, at that moment, the Lord's spiritual grace and bliss dawns our mind and heart, and the man becomes pious, man becomes true, man becomes pure. The truth becomes complete, and all aspects of God's nature of love, compassion, mercy, charity and justice takes over the mind and heart, and it rules. So sacrifice is this. Sacrifice means to surrender our inner ego and cleanse ourselves of all the impurities, the muck, the slurry, slush from the inner soul. We have to embellish ourselves with all qualities which are lovable to the Lord, which are adorable to the Lord. It is the love, it is the affection, it is the silence, it is the charity, it is the compassion, it is the magnanimity. We have to be always constant in the service every moment of our life. From the birth, the mother gives these qualities to us. And as we grow into the childhood and into the higher aspects of higher age after age, day after day, the training to the child has to be towards mercy and peace, towards compassion and magnanimity. And all these aspects cherishes love, cherishes Lord in the realms of the heart. Let there be no let up or shortcomings in our sacrifice, in our service, till we acquire all the heavenly qualities of Lord in His attributes in our mind and soul. God, Allah, is the term, is a name which we have given to Him. The God says, see my face all around I am there. I am nearer than your jugular vein. I am in your innermost corner of your mind and thought. When you think, when you pray in your mind and heart, I hear it. My angels hear it. Every pollution which goes in your mind and heart, and every evil which passes through your mind and heart, is recorded by me. God says in His holy book that He can see in the darkness, on a dark being, He can see them, He can watch them. He can see a ant in the innermost dark stone, black stone and a black night. That is His vision. When you love Him, when you become one with Him, you become a man of piety. When you become a man of piety, you become a man of love. When you become a man of love, you become a man of sacrifice. Then sacrifice brings within you the aspect pertaining to sincerity. And sincerity is sacrifice. Sincerity is not callousness. Sincerity is not negligence. Sincerity is not carelessness. Sincerity is not unconcern in the personal safety and the personal safety of others. When you are sincere and humble and sacrificial in nature, you are always thinking of the well-being of others. You are acting with intense care. You are not acting rashly with high-handedness, but you apply your logic. You apply rhythm in your life. You bring consciousness in your mind and heart. You do not allow the matters to drift to decay. Time has absolutely no value for them, for every moment is important, and every moment you are conscious of the being which is controlling them. The love overwhelms them. There is no heedlessness to the good counsel and good advice. There is no need to punish such people, no need to give body pains to them, no need to capitalize them, no need to impose strictures on them. They are free from all the anguishes and pain. A pious man, a sincere man, a sacrificial man, a humble man is totally free from the worldly concerns, in the worldly way of mirth and pleasures, in the worldly way of destroying others, in killing others, in the name of the God or the name of his own will, in his own desires. He does not want to capture people. He does not want to seize the wealth in others. He is very humble. If he is a landlord, he bestows his granary to all the workmen, keeps the workmen happy, keeps the farmers happy. If he is a factory man, he is a factory owner, he fulfills all the obligations which are there on a factory owner to provide all that is required in law. He is very compassionate. He is very skillful. He gives all that is required to be given to the workers to boost the production. So in every aspect of human activity, whether it be a doctor or an engineer or a teacher or a lawyer or a judge, the sincerity works. The sincerity takes them to the heights of glory. It is a sincerity which makes the mind and heart apply to the work which is in their hand. They will scrutinize, a judge or a lawyer will scrutinize every fact, the minutities of the facts, to find out the truth. And the truth becomes eternal and surpasses all barriers and is beyond nothingness. The truth is infinite and dwells in hearts pure and simple, humble and kind. So when we are talking about the Kalima Tawheed, La ilaha, we are negativing all those aspects of life which are detrimental to the good living. Now today we find that in the name of the religion of peace, Islam, offences are being carried out to the highest. Armies have been built up, and there are evil people who are supplying them with arms and ammunition to go about capturing, go about capitalizing, killing, seizing women, children, and bombarding the peace-loving people all over the world. This is not Islam. Neither it is part of Islam as Sufism. Sufism has grown from the inner aspect of Islam. There is nothing like Sufism as a separate subject. Sufis are people who are very pious, who want to see the effulgence and the light of the Lord in their mind and heart, and convey to the humanity the good news, the good cheers, that love of Lord is overwhelming and it can capture anything in the world through good means, good aspects, and there is peace and love all over the world. The Sufis acquire all those good qualities which are required to make the garden flourish with fragrant flowers, with divine flowers, with heaven coming down to the man in his own life. You carry in your heart the fire for the hell. You carry the fragrance of beauty, beautiful things to the heaven. The beauty lies in your mind, beauty lies in your eyes, beauty lies in your heart. We have to subjugate this evil which crops up in the form of desires, multiple desires, hundreds of desires, and we want to acquire more and more. Initially, we work very hard in the schools and colleges to acquire qualification, to acquire skills. But later on, we want to use these skills to make money and more money. When we have been doing small business, petty business, we acquire a lot of skills. With these skills, we try to develop more and more material gains. With these material gains, our mind gets corroded, our heart gets corroded, and we want to cheat. We do not want to maintain the promises which we give. We don't want to return the money which we have taken. We want to grab all the pleasures which are there available in the world. We do not want to help our close relatives, our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, our environment. We don't want to take care of the trees. We don't want to take care of the rivers. This gives pollution to the world. This changes the color of the world. It changes the cosmic harmony. It takes away the goodness from the heart of the mind. And when the goodness goes away, the wrath of the Lord has bound to come down to us, because we have acquired wrath. We have acquired evil in our mind and heart. When the evil in the heart and mind of individuals spreads like a disease, spreads like a virus, there is evil and evil all over. And the evil and evil, when it is all over, the goodness vanishes. And the consequences, the evil will seize the heart and mind. In order to see that the mind is free from all these things, we have to understand the basic aspect pertaining to the soul, and that is, we have to purify ourselves. The purification takes place when we picturize the good people, the goodness, the prophets, the saints, when their pictures, their life, their light is between our mind and heart, and we sincerely, with all sacrifice, go and stand for prayers and before the Lord 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day. We keep on repeating His name in our mind and heart while we are doing all our activities. Whether as a doctor, whether as an engineer, whether as a worker, whether as a businessman, whether as a petty person, the name of the Lord purifies our mind and heart. It purifies our tongue, it purifies our soul. Love captures us. It enlivens our sagging spirit with rhyme and rhythm, with melodies, with cheers, and allows us to soar higher and higher like a skylark. We have to dwell deeper and deeper in the realms of the heart and bring out treasures to gleam our eyes and enlighten ourselves. We have to purify ourselves with cool streams of love. When people talk about discovery of our own self, it is not that we have to discover our inner strength, all that is required to maintain our life in a fashion made by the modern man. It is to discover the love of the Lord. It is to discover the benefits of the love of the Lord. It is to discover the love to humanity. It's to discover the pleasantness in our own self, the kindness which is there, the compassion which is there, the mercy which is in there. We have to color ourselves in this aspect, irrespective of the faiths we follow. We can be a Hindu and various believing in the various caste system in the Hinduism, or we can be a Christian aligned to various categories of Christian. We can be a Jew, we can be a Buddhist, we can be a Jain, we can be a Muslim, we can be a Sunni, we can be a Shia. But for all of them, only one thing which is common is La ilaha. That is to remove from your mind and heart all those idols which we worship. The idols are our own weaknesses, our own desires, our own attachments, our greed, our covetousness, our passions, our anger, our jealousy, which is distributed in various aspects of our human activity. In all his own activity, we have to see whether action is just, whether the action is proper, whether the action is hurting others or hurting ourselves. That aspect of living, of a good life, can be acquired only when we are silent in our mind and heart. We have to acquire silence while you are traveling in the car, or when you are traveling to your office. We have 1 hour or 2 hours. Chant the name of the Lord. Keep on realizing this is our goal. The goal is the love of the Lord. To acquire love in your mind and heart, and to be sincere. Sacrifice is not taking animals and cutting them in the, or slaughtering them in the temples or mosques or outside in the name of the Lord, emulating Ismail or emulating the story of Abraham. Sacrifice is to give away what is most attached to us in the name of the Lord for the most humble and most needy person, not for those who are committing crimes. Our wealth is not for giving it to the people who want to fight for their own selfish ends. We want to give it to the people who are really suffering, and that suffering has to be removed from the mind and heart so that the environment becomes pure. The cosmic harmony is retained. We begin to love each other. We create a good atmosphere in the house. We don't want to destroy the family balance. We have to, as a wife or as a mother or as a husband or as a son, we have to realize our individual responsibility and fulfill our duty. If I have been earning quite a large sum in ourselves, yes, our duty to take care of our parents, to return what we have borrowed from the bank for our education, for whatever it is. Not to destroy ourselves by wasting our money on going to expensive movies, by spending all our time in watching TVs. But we have to concentrate on our mind and heart to achieve goodness in life. Goodness and goodness alone is the teachings of all the religions. The surrender means to surrender our self, which is our greatest enemy. Our beliefs, our rights, our icons, our behavior, our taboos, our superstitions, our manners, our ego, our anger, our jealousies, our lust, our desires, our hates, they are our biggest enemy. That is the shaitan. When we say, Auzubillahi minash shaitani rajim, we have to realize we are curbing these tendencies in our mind and heart, and casting away all this, breaking away from the shackles and chains, releasing our heart from them to enable the springs of love to flow, to glow, to gush. Life always has a glimmer of hope, a warmth of innocence, and is always just, compassionate and merciful. We need to remind mercy to overcome fears of unknown, to combat the insurmountable. Love is a candle of hope to burn, to show light towards eternal life. We need to stir our ship in the ocean of life to the safest shores. When we claim we are part of God, everyone claims that we are part of me. Mother claims, a father claims, a sister claims, a wife claims, children claim. Everyone wants to claim to be part of us. But the greater self is our ruler of our mind and heart. But while we are performing the duty to all our kith and kin, to all our relatives, we are keeping in our mind and soul the greater self who has commanded us to behave and act in that manner only. That is the discovery of self. The discovery of self is to realize the animal tendencies, animal consciousness, which we should not give importance. It is a moral self, it is a moral soul, which has the courage of conviction, which has to capture our mind and heart. It is a search of the great soul we have to pursue. But the eternal spirit in me is the Lord. I feel that He is in me, He in me, through my contemplation, through my meditation, through my prayers, through my japams, through my zikr, through my hearing good things of life, through doing charity, to performing Hajj. The Hajj is the Hajj of my own consciousness. So when you become part and parcel of goodness, your goodness alone, like great saints, great prophets and great men of virtue in the world who have come, then your mind and soul glows, and you have to retain the glow, you have to retain the light, you have to retain the good things in life. So when mankind is commanded to surrender to great being, it is only for our own benefit to achieve peace and happiness. As-Salama is the name, we have to recite his name, As-Salama. Surrender should be with humility and sincerity, bereft of self-importance, selfishness, anger, lust, greed, avarice, pride, ego, self-glorification, hatred, malice, and all evil illnesses of the heart. The heart should be pure and reflect love, and love alone for the humanity, love alone for our family, love alone for our neighbor, love alone for our city, love alone for our nation, but not for destruction, not for selfishness, self-aggrandizement, but for goodness, and to remove the things which disturb our mind and heart, to become silent in our mind and heart, to be good in our, not to chastise everybody, condemn, criticize, pull the legs, write things which as an officer against a man, to destroy his career, to harm him, but console him. Console each other, love each other means to console each other. Give an opportunity a person to change, help him to change, help him to grow, help him to acquire good things of life. When you do that, then you realize God is living, God is eternal, God is more sublime, God is immense. If only then the heavens open its doors, and the light dawns on your mind and heart, and the wisdom flows from your lips, from your pen, from your tongue, and you attain self-enlightenment, attainments are by acquiring wisdom, by becoming a good man, not to speak or act that my way is the only way. My way is not the only way, my dear friends. It is not that we have to do, but have to respect, to show disrespect to spiritual people, to heavenly people, to godly people, to Sufis, to saints, to sons, to yogis, is to cut our roots by our own hands, with our own sharp instruments. We have to love spiritual people, good people, godly people, so that their presence brings light in our mind and heart. When we remember the dead people, we are remembering not the man, but we are remembering the transience of life. The life which is transferred will also be transferred to the another heavenly place. There is transience, the love, there is everything, there is a decay. Every second is a statement of loss. Only every stage of loss. When the loss is there, the profits can be gained. Profit, P-R-O-F-I-T, profit can be gained only through good deeds. And the good deeds may be a good loving speech. It could be through a heavenly speech. It could be through a heavenly glance. So glance has to be very heavenly. Speech has to be heavenly. Talk has to be heavenly. Walk has to be heavenly. Let everything which we do has to be heavenly, so that we find the heaven in our own living. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. I again remind you that all our talks and our recordings in our Sufi Center has been uploaded on www.internationalsuficenter.org. We are bringing out Sufi world in English and Anwar Sufia in Urdu to enlighten the people with regard to the goodness which is there. Sufism is a spirituality of heart and mind and soul. It is part and parcel of Islam. It is the soul of Islam. To see some people, poor people, beggars and fakirs doing certain actions and saying this is Sufism, we don't want to accept, is wrong. To say that the dance which is carried out by fakirs and the drums which are played by them, the harmonium which are played, or the khawalis are played, it is only to resurrect the goodness in mind, it is to resurrect the charm, the pleasure, the good feelings in man. Music only enlightens the heart. If you don't want to say that we want to hear all the music, the dance, and go to the Prophet's grave to present our salutation, it's all right. But you have to remember that that is a spark of divinity, and the divinity should grow in your mind, and not hatred for the Prophet and his children and for all the saints in the world. You have to become saintly yourself. Achieve this saintliness by your own growth, by your own zikr, by your own contemplation. You have to carry on the jihad on your own mind and soul, not take a weapon and kill another person or propagate propaganda against good things of life. Spirituality is not that. Spirituality is to not go around telling the whole world about the discovery of the self without you yourself performing your own duty. to your own employees, to your own children, to your own family, to your own brothers, to your sisters. Give them their dues. Help them, help the society, help all who are people around you in your own way in which you could share. It is only by sharing your thoughts, it is by sharing your goodness, not by criticism, by condemnation, that these aspects of Sufism is bad, this is bad, this is shirk, this is bid'at. No, we have to stop speaking about shirk and bid'at. We have to talk about love and love. Only when we talk about love and love and contemplate on all the 99 qualities of our Prophet, 99 qualities of our God, we imbibe it in our mind and heart, and we become an enlightened citizen. So with this message, I thank you. I humbly request you to hear all the lectures of great scholars and Sufis which are recorded on the net, and read all the literature, do contemplation, do zikr of Kalima Tawheed, zikr of all the names of the God, and with that you enlighten yourself. Every day you do some activity. It could be a small little food which you are taking, a morsel of food giving to the ants, to the birds. It could be a small little water you have on your terrace, keeping it for the birds. It could start with that, and slowly your activity may grow in your mind and heart. That is how you achieve through sacrifice, self-sacrifice, through sincerity, through humility, and humility will drive away the evil from the mind and heart, and the Satan will not come near those who are humble. But don't allow yourself not to become humble, but try and become humble everywhere, in every aspect of human life. Then the soul will reach the highest grandeur of nature, grandeur of reaching the heaven, and you become heavenly. Thank you very much.